My name is Amir Uranli, and I'm here to talk about the fall and rise of the Mezzala in modern football, the forgotten archetype making a comeback. Picture this: Kevin De Bruyne receiving the ball in the left half space, Barella bursting forward from midfield, or Di Maria drifting wide from central midfield. Why did the half winger disappear for years and then suddenly become one of the most dangerous roles in modern football? Well, that's what I'm here to talk about. A Mezzala is a wide central midfielder in a three. He lives outside and slightly ahead of the holding midfielder and attacks the half spaces without being a pure winger or a 10. Think a creative 8 who drifts out wide, links play, and arrives in the box. The term means half winger in Italian, and that's where you get the name from. In early systems like the WM, the 3-2-4-1 that Pep Guardiola has been using recently, and the Metodo, which was a 2-3-2-3 system, the inside forwards often worked these lanes. Over time, the label settled on the side eights of a midfield three. The idea itself is old, and yet the interpretation is modern. The roaming eight, as it's more commonly referred to in its contemporary definition, is a vital part of football today. So why did it fade into obscurity for so long? During the rigid 4-4-2 era, roles were boxed in. Coaches wanted clear wide men and clear central midfielders. The drifting creating eight had less room to show their natural flair. As the game moved towards positional play and high pressing, the half spaces became premium real estate, however. Teams began placing creators there to combine with wingers and overlapping fullbacks. That is exactly the territory the Mezzala thrives in. In classic Italian football, the inside forward often occupied these lanes. You can nod to figures like Gianni Rivera or Mazzolo to show the lineage. These duties were not identical to today, but the spaces and instincts rhyme. Here I have a picture of a modern 4-4-2 system, and back in the about 80s to early 2000s, this was seen as a staple, especially in English football. And in a system such as this, the central midfielders would have to stay back, while the wide midfielders would stay high and wide, and the channels were really occupied by the two strikers. Now, let's talk about the modern responsibilities of the Mezzala. Some core patterns to watch out for. 1. They start central and drift into the channel to form triangles with the winger and fullback, creating more passing lanes and options near the box. 2. They arrive late in the box after the winger pins the fullback. 3. They play the third man run after a wall pass with the 9. 4. They switch between an underlap and an overlapping run depending on the fullback's height. These moves create angles and force center backs into bad decisions. Let's chat about some modern examples next to further contextualize the role. Here I've put a couple different ways that you would see the Mezzala playing. The first picture to the left is a regular 4-3-3 setup, which is normally nowadays seen as a standard tactical system for most coaches. And as you can see, the Mezzala has a wide range of responsibilities, getting up high and wide, occupying the spaces of the wingers as they cut in, and creating extra passing lanes in and around the final third. Let's go over some coaches and players that utilize and play as Mezzalas so we can gain a greater understanding of how they play on the pitch itself. Coaches such as Pippo Inzaghi, Pep Guardiola, and Jurgen Klopp all use roaming eights in their most purest form, with players such as Iniesta, Kevin De Bruyne, Ilkay Gundogan, Barella, Gini Wijnaldum, and Szoboszlai all fitting the bill as wide central mids, drifting out wide and pioneering the rebirth of the role in the modern game. Here's a quick checklist to spot a Mezzala live. They start next to the 6 and quickly drift into the channel from there. Their first touch is spaced between the fullback and center back. They try to create constant triangles with the winger and the fullback. as well as arriving as the extra man at the top of the box. You look at these different midfielders and the coaches that utilize them, and the more you watch the games and watch the players themselves, you'll see them constantly running the channels, constantly creating passing opportunities near the final third, and really being the link between the midfield and the attacking three. The Mezzala never really died. In an ever-changing game like football, we had to value space again for him to return. Old tactics became new once more in the cyclical nature of it all. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you were able to contextualize and learn a little bit about the Mezzala in modern football. It's truly one of the most fascinating roles in the modern game, and I think as time goes on and you watch the games more, you can understand why they're absolutely a necessity for modern midfields. Thank you again, and if you guys have any suggestions or your favorite player that fits the bill as a Mezzala, go ahead and leave them in the comments and have a good night. Thank you.